Real men. Now that is a term that is ubiquitous with thoughts of toxic masculinity. Mention real men in a boardroom, a school, a university, anywhere in the Western world, and people will stick their nose up at you. They will look down upon you and they will see you as some knuckle-dragging, ridiculous human being that is stuck in the past you Neanderthal. The idea of a real man is coated in negativity, or at least it has over the past couple of decades. But in reality, in times of impending violence, desperate times of need, or whenever the shit hits the fan, real men are required. The call goes out and the real men arrive. When the Titanic sunk, we expected real men to go down with the ship. When the doors of the landing ships fell on D-Day, so did countless real men. And now, in the Ukraine, real men are being told that you must stay behind and fight for your country, kiss your children and your wife behind. You must fight for your life. If you are a man in the Ukraine right now, you were told a couple of weeks ago that if you were between the ages of 18 and 60, you had no choice in the matter. You were to stand and fight for your country. Hold the lines and fight the Russians to the death. You might have been a baker, an accountant, anything, it didn't matter. You were to stand there, pick up a rifle and shoot back at a war machine. And here's my question, and the reason I made this video. Where the fuck are the feminists? Where are the ones who cry foul every single time there is not a direct 50-50 quota met? Where are the feminists that demand that every single woman gets the same opportunities as men, if not more? Where are the feminists that cry foul every single time anyone mentions real men? Because I've noticed that they've been pretty fucking silent over the last couple of weeks. No one's been whinging, bitching and crying that the ladies of the Ukraine were allowed to leave. Now many stayed behind and fight, and they are fucking warriors, and I'm not talking shit about them for a second. And I don't think that the women should have had to stay behind. And I don't think the children should have stayed behind. And I don't think the elderly. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, where are the feminists? Where are the ones that have been crying and whinging and bitching and moaning that women are just as powerful as men and they deserve everything that a man gets? Where are they? Is this female privilege? Because I don't know if staying behind and getting shot at, dying miserably in mud and bricks and debris that was once your neighborhood is male privilege. It certainly sounds that female privilege is the one that people would be looking for there. And when we talk about privilege, yes, men have been privileged throughout history, but so have women. In all the world wars, men made to go and fight, forced if they didn't volunteer. In this case, forced if they didn't volunteer, to stay behind and defend their neighborhoods against a war machine that you can't even comprehend. That. Imagine right now you're sitting in your house and you just see tanks rolling down the street. And fucking in Australia right here, ScoMo comes on the TV and says, well, we all gotta pick up a rifle and have a go. That's what is happening in the Ukraine right now. The concept of a real man, though tainted, is necessary for the survival of the human race. We wouldn't have got to where we are right now with the ability to bitch about real men without real men. Now sure, toxic masculinity may exist, and it exists in different scenarios. I know people have been told that real men don't cry. Real men don't have feelings. Real men don't care for their children, don't change their nappies. Real men go and work and they don't deal with their family, they just go to the pub. No, that is not a real man, that is bullshit. That is a lie that your fucking father's grandfather told him. Real men, they love, they care, they provide, and they look after those around them. They are the leaders of their family, the leaders of their environment, okay? That's what a real man is. Any man can be a real man, even a woman. I'm being absolutely genuine when I say that. If you are a real man, it means you're a tough motherfucker who will not quit when the situation turns to shit. Women can be that as well. Warriors, that's what the real man attitude has to be. And that is in everything, whether it's war, fucking sport, or business, love, whatever it happens to be. You will stick it out. You will try your hardest and you will do everything you can to make something work. You're a genuine good person. That is a real man. If you're walking around like a big old tough that's not a real man, you're a fuckwit. I guess the best definition of a real man is someone who will do anything to save his family. Give his own life, if he has to. And that is what we are seeing in the Ukraine right now. No matter the cost, real men putting their lives on the line, picking up a gun perhaps for the very first time and returning fire to a giant and overbearing enemy. And yet, no feminists in the mainstream are upset about this. No one's crying and saying, oh, why aren't the ladies being told to stay behind? They're just as powerful. None. But you see, it's not surprising to me because men aren't just left behind in war zones or in the Ukraine in this particular example. They're left behind in life all the time, whether it's education. Men are dropping out of university and high school at rates that would astound you. If you're homeless, you're much more likely to be a man. If you take your life, you are far more likely to be a man. And no one cares. So when the women and the children get to leave, and the men have to stay behind and put their lives on the line and probably die, is it any surprise that no one cares? But here's a question. What would happen in the Western world, not the Ukraine? If this happened in your country, what would happen if all the men 18 to 60 were told to pick up arms and fight the enemy? I know what would happen here. There would be so many weak men, beta men, just whinging and crying, desperate for a safe space, desperate for someone to come and help them. Mummy and daddy, help me out. And that is just fucking what is happening with our society right now. Men are becoming weaker, and that is not a good thing. And I don't mean men becoming weaker as becoming more feminine or looking after each other or any of that shit. I'm talking about mentally weak, not going after things that are difficult in life, not being able to handle things. You have to be able to do that shit, otherwise life's gonna eat you up. You can't be always looking for safe spaces and pronoun badges and making sure that everyone fucking is politically correct around you. You need to pick up fucking guns and fire back. I love that we are genuinely a more inclusive world. I think that is beautiful. But if it goes to shit, and it could go to shit, the people that you are demonizing, the real men, are the ones that you are going to scream for. So sure, men are pigs. Toxic masculinity, this, misogyny, that. We need more women in this, we need more women in that. When it suits you. When the shit hits the fan, you are going to beg for the people who will do what it takes to save their own. I'll leave you all with a question. Maybe you consider yourself a feminist or a left wing, far left, whatever. Would you stay and fight? If you're a woman? If you're a man? If you're whatever? This is what I would do. I don't want to go to another part of the world and fight. But if it came to our shores, I'd do anything to save my family. I'd be terrified, no doubt. I'm probably not cut out for war. I know I have this big bravado fucking attitude and act when I'm behind the camera, and maybe I'd crumble, but I'd give it a fucking go. Because that's what real men do. We care for our families. We're not fuckwits. We're genuinely good people. And that is the attitude that we need to change in society. The idea that a real man is some tough guy who fights and all that shit. No, a real man is a good human being. But if he needs to be a monster, he can. Be a good motherfucker. Peace in the Middle East, me dick stinks. Toodle au revoir. Bye bye.